Hi, I'm Lindsay Calvert and I'm the Vice President of Sales at Dynamite Lifestyle. I was in a position within financial services. I worked Monday to Friday 9 to 5 and everything was as society would expect it to be. I kind of very much believed I had a certain skill set based on qualifications, experience, and my belief systems around what I thought I could achieve and what I thought I could be in life were very much based on that. Coming through that, I actually had quite a few experiences with different leaders throughout the industries and people that I worked with. And now when I'm able to reflect back on that, I could see how my own beliefs were tripping me up. And for me to be sat here now as the Vice President of Sales for an 8-figure company, I would have laughed at you 5 years ago had you have told me that. I was what we would call left brain dominant. I was a very analytical thinker, a very logical thinker, and A plus B equals C, 2 plus 2 equals 4. And that was how my life was in every aspect. It was how I based my decisions. If I was looking at a scenario and I couldn't see how 2 plus 5 equals something else, it didn't make sense. And for me, that always caused confusion. It caused doubt. It caused fear if I tried to even lean into things like that. So when Kim stepped into this material, when she started working alongside Bob Proctor, I thought she was crazy. I thought she's going through something, and I let her have her journey. I supported her. I didn't understand it, but I did support her because it's her life. And I thought I was very happy in my 9 to 5 with my guaranteed income every single month. But as time went on, the reasons I held myself back from stepping into this material, from stepping into mentorship as a whole, was very much around beliefs of I didn't have a business. I didn't want to start a business. I did enjoy my job. I was very good at it. But also for me, it wasn't about the money. It wasn't really about the job. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't full fulfillment. There was no growth in it. And when you're in a growth-orientated environment, you quickly start to see that you're not growing. So I wasn't even aware of that at the time. So in a 9 to 5, watching other people live an entrepreneurial life, other people creating dreams, creating goals, turning annual incomes into monthly incomes. And I'm there in my analytical head going, that doesn't make sense. How are they doing that? And it got to the stage where there was so much evidence around me that I didn't have a leg to stand on. In a sense, the excuses I was giving were being dissolved in front of me from people all around the world, from people with different backgrounds, different experience, qualifications, levels of education, people who were unemployed, people who were employed, people who were in business, people who were stay-at-home mums, people who were CEOs of 8-9-figure businesses. They were coming in and getting results. And all those excuses I was using for myself disappeared. So I took the leap of faith. I wanted more. I didn't know what it was. I'll be honest, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Yes, I wanted more financial freedom, but in my head that wasn't millions. That wasn't even hundreds of thousands. I just wanted a little bit more. And when I reflect back on that now, I wanted a little bit more because my belief was only a little bit. I didn't have a huge burning desire. I didn't have huge belief in I'm made for something else. I didn't have that. And I kind of thought, do you know what have I got to lose? If I step out of this environment, which was everything I've known for 14 years, where all my exams, all my experience lay, if I went out and I tried something else and it didn't work, worst case scenario, I could go back and get another job. It might not have been in the same company. It might not have been even on the same salary. I could have worked my way up. I knew that. That was logical. I could easily believe that. But I did. I stepped in and I even tried to resist the process. But what I loved most about it, from my own perspective, I understood that belief was something that you cultivated, that desire was something that you had to lean into and play with concepts about yourself, about goals, about money, enough to actually see would you be willing just to take it a little bit further? And I did that, and I did it step by step, the way the system is taught, the way mentorship is taught. And one of the things I suppose I was really able to lean on the most was everything that Kim teaches, everything that Dynamite Lifestyle brings is science-backed. As a logical thinker, I like that. It made sense, and I didn't need to have any experience in it. I was green, as we say. I think because that programming, 14 years of learning or believing that you were learning a way of how to earn money or how to invest money was always very interesting. And I worked with people who had freshly won the national lottery, so it was people who had inherited money. So I wasn't being shown a different way in my normal environment on how to do it. It was people had inherited it and then they invested it. So I knew that you could invest money, obviously, to increase that. I knew that if you had money, you could make it work for you, but I didn't have that. So it's great to know how to use an investment, but unless you have money to invest, that didn't work. So that switch, I suppose, was taking action to get a reaction. I was looking for feedback because of my resistance to the material, because I didn't understand it. I was so confused. I almost went about a way of trying to prove it didn't work, to try and prove that Bob Proctor's 65 plus years of scientific research in this material didn't work, and it wouldn't work for me. So I thought, I'm gonna take the action. I'm gonna prove you wrong. And I quickly proved Kim right. And I quickly grew that belief in myself, and I realized that we can all learn new things if we're willing to, if we're brave enough to just step forward, take a bit of action and get feedback, which then allowed me to course correct. But the feedback that I got was huge, and it shifted everything for me. And I learned about the third way to earn money, which was fantastic. So I could sit here today, 5 years, and I could tell you my personal goal, I could tell you my professional goal, and I could tell you that it's going to scare the living daylights out of me. But I can also tell you that in 6 months' time, that crazy goal could potentially be a B-type goal, because I'm going to know how to do that, because the system is there, the process is there. I've done it time and time again. It's working on me that creates a belief. The more belief I have in myself, the bigger my goal can be. And that all comes every single time from taking action. I love to speak to someone who's skeptical. That is probably why I do what I do. Because when you're skeptical, when you're doubting, you're holding your whole life back, not just yourself. You're holding your family back, you're holding your lifestyle back, you're holding your health back, you're holding your company back, you're potentially even holding a team back. And if you can't lead yourself, you can't lead anyone. And that also really works, again, from a personal point of view. If you are a parent and you don't have belief in yourself, you can't install belief in someone else. You can't install belief in the little ears that are running around your feet. And when you push everything together, when you take a goal and you take a concept, and we all have desires, whether you're willing to admit it or not, you have one, you're born with it. You're born with a purpose. You might not know exactly what that is. You might have been in my position and have no clue what that was. You might have a very clear goal, but if you are sitting there with doubt, if you're sitting there with skepticism, I want you just to ask yourself, what have you tried? What have you not tried? Because you might have a list of things that you've tried and didn't work, but if you haven't tried something new, if you haven't stepped out of your comfort zone, you're never going to create a new result. And that for me was the excitement. I could take all of that skepticism and I was kind of like, do you know what? I'll give it a go. What have I got to lose? If it doesn't work, it's something else that didn't work, but I'm one step closer to finding something that will. And I quickly found all the answers that I was looking for, and still will continue to look for as my goals grow bigger. It's all within. But if I don't look within me, if I don't change my thinking, I'm never going to change how I feel about myself, how I feel about my goals. Therefore, I'm never going to take the action off the back of that. So for the skepticism, if you're looking at a result that you want, if you're looking at a goal that you want, I want you to ask yourself what you think about it, because what you're thinking about everything in your life is what is creating it. And if you're doubting it, you're creating more doubt. If you've got a little bit of faith and you take a little bit of action towards that, you can have a huge outcome in the end, and it will always come from faith.